The problem is telling us to simplify the given radical. So we can basically take each value of under the square root and basically break them down into smaller numbers that we would able to know what are the factors for in order to simply find the square roots of each one of them. Because 225 and 289 are relatively large numbers to know the square root or the radical of them on the top of your head. So for example, let's first take the 225. So we can basically do trial and error for each value until we find the correct values that gives us integers, and then we can break them down into even smaller number. So if we would take the 225 divided by 2, that does not simplify. So let's go to 3. So let's do 225 divided by 3. So 225 divided by 3 gives us 75. Also, if we would take this 75 and divide that by 3 too, it's going to give us 25. So now we both know that 3 and 3 are factors of both 75 and 225. So let's say if we would take 225 divided by 9, that's going to give us 25. So now we know that the factors of 225 that's going to help us basically find the square root of are going to be the 9 and the 25. And the reason I chose these two numbers because we both know the square root of both these values, because 9 is basically 3 times 3 and the 25 is 5 times 5. So if we would rewrite this one as square root of 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. So basically in square roots we look basically for a pair of numbers. So for each pair you take one value, so that's going to be 3 times 5 times 5. That's a pair of numbers. We take one of them out and that's 5. So 3 times 5, that's 15. So basically 15 is going to be the square root of 225. And we're going to do the same thing for 289. 289 is a slightly harder number, but like we said, by basically trial and error, we can find that 289 divided by 17 is basically going to give us 17. So the 289, the two factors that are going to help us find the square root of that is going to be 17 and 17, and that's going to be the pair of numbers that's going to help us. 17 times 17, we can take a pair out. We have a plus between that term and that term, so that's 17. 15 plus 17, that's going to equal to 32.